Hi everyone. Previously we had discussed about the YAGNI principle, right? So today we'll be discussing on the KISS principle, right? So yesterday I said we'll be starting with the solid principles. No, I'll just finish off this one, KISS. So this is one of the simple and important principle as well. Let's finish this one. Then let's move on with the this one solid principles, SOLID principles, right? So first let's get into the definition part. First thing, let me go with the abbreviation here. KISS means keep it simple and stupid, right? So when I say keep it simple and stupid, we have to just keep the code simple and stupid, right? So see here, what does the KISS principle stay? This one states here, KISS principle stands for keep it simple, stupid. It emphasizes writing code that is simple, clear, and easy to understand. Right? It emphasizes writing code that is simple, clear, and easy to understand instead of making it unnecessarily complex. Right? Instead of making it unnecessarily complex. So the principle says simple solutions are often the best ones. Right? What does it say? Simple solutions are often the best ones. Right? So over engineering mostly leads to the bugs, harder debugging as well, and low readability, obviously, right? So over engineering, what it leads to? It leads to bugs, harder debugging, and low readability. So instead of writing fancy or overcomplicated code, this one KISS principle asks us to focus on the clarity and maintainability, right? So just keep this in mind. In Python, this often means avoiding unnecessary conditions, loops, or features when a straightforward solution works. Simple? Yeah. So let's try to understand the same with a very simple example, man. I'll be considering very basic example. So I thought of going with a complex one, but basically it has to be understood by everyone, right? Uh, People like me exist as well. So let's go with a very basic and simple example, right? So just give me a second here. Let me go with a complex version first. Means the example I'll be going with here is, let's calculate the sum of a list of numbers. Basically, first let's go with a complex version. So this basically what it does. So let me comment this one and write here, this one is the complex version, right? So what it does here, this violates the KISS principle, right? In simple terms, it violates the KISS principle, right? So let's write the complex version first. I'll just go with def the function name sum complex. So I'll just go with the nums, or I'll just give numbers entirely, right? So this is fine. Then let me initialize total to 0 here, right? So let me remove semicolon. So this is fine. Now let's start iterating using the index unnecessarily. This is not required, but let's start iterating using the index unnecessarily. So I'll just go with for I in range. So let me pass the numbers. We have considered numbers, right? So let me pass the numbers here. So this is fine. Let's try to access by the index each time. So I can just write it on this way. Let me go with total equals total plus, or let me go with total plus iterated value of the numbers. This is fine. So the final step here would be, let's return the total, right? So let's return the total. So here this total, this will give us the indentation error. So let me go with total from here. This is fine. Let me give colon here. I have missed the colon. That is the reason it didn't take correctly, I guess. So this is fine. Now let me return total, right? So we are iterating using the index unnecessarily here in the line number 15, sorry, in the line number 14 basically, right? And then we are trying to access by the index each time, right? So this is the complex version, right? So let's go with the simple version that follows the KISS principle, right? So I'll just go with, let me comment here, I'll just write here simple version follows KISS principle. So this is fine. Let me do one thing. Let me go with the function sum underscore, or this one let me give here simple itself. Some simple. So let me pass numbers here. This is fine. Let me pass numbers. So let's do one thing. Let's make use of the Python's built-in function just for the clarity. We don't have to go with the iteration part at all. So here, let me go with return here. Let's make use of the sum of, let me pass numbers, sum function. Within the function, we are passing numbers, right? Sum within the parenthesis, we are passing numbers. Both does the same task here, right? So both does the same task here, right? So this is the complex version which violates the KISS principle. It says uh, it stands for keep it simple and stupid, right? So it emphasizes writing code that is simple, clear, and easy to understand instead of making it unnecessarily complex. And again, the last sentence here also says the same thing here. See here, in Python, this often means avoiding unnecessary conditions. See here, we are making use of unnecessary, this one for loop here basically, right? Unnecessary conditions, loops, or features when a straightforward solution works. See here, we are unnecessarily making use of the loop. The code is also lengthier, right? So we can just go with a built-in function, right? Just for the clarity. Yeah, both gives us the same answer man here, right? uh, so let's go with the example usage here, or the I'll be going with the input list here. So let me pass nums equals 10, 20, some random numbers. I'll give 30, 40, like that. So this is fine. So let's print for the sake of interactivity here. So I'll just go with complex sum. This is fine. Next, let me go with some. Uh, why this is not showing? Oh, I have not given comma here. That is the reason this is not showing in the suggestions basically. So if I type P now, yeah, this is showing in the this one. What do we call? Mm, suggestions. So let me pass nums here, right? So we have considered nums. This is fine. So let me copy the same thing. Let me paste the same thing again here. Instead of the sum complex, so let me consider some simple here function. This is fine. We have to pass the nums itself again. So both has to give the same output 100, because here we are going with 10 plus 20 30 30 30 60, and then plus 40 100, right? So a complex sum also has to give 100, and the simple sum function has to give 100 as well, right? So let's check the same thing later. Before checking the output, I need to tell you something here. We are defining the sum complex here, this one line number 12, which manually iterates over list indices, the line number 14, sorry, which manually iterates over list indices. We know this one. So inside the loop, so this one for loop, inside the loop, line number 15, what we are doing here, we are fetching each element and we are just adding that one to the total, right? So this works, but it is unnecessarily verbose. This works, but it is unnecessarily verbose, right? So then we are defining the this one some simple function here which uses Python's built-in sum, this one Python's built-in sum function, right? So we are just creating the this one nums array here. Then we are printing the results of both the functions just for the comparison purpose. Both gives us the same answer, but this is simple yet very effective, right? So let's try to run the code here. Let me go with Python. Let me right click here. Let me copy this one. Sorry, did I miss anything? No, right? So dot py, right? So we are getting the error. Why? Module, what is the error? List object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Line number 14. Uh, just give me a second here. 14, right here. This is fine. Yeah, let me do one thing. Instead of this one, I'll just go with the length of the numbers, man. Cannot be interpreted into just this one. I can try. So I can do this. Let me do one thing. Let me format the code once. This is fine. Let me clear this one. Let me run this one again. Yeah, now we are getting the correct output, right? So I had missed this one, mentioning the length basically. 10 of numbers. This is fine. Now, yep. Now we are getting the same output, right? So this is the complex one. This is the complex one, and here also I have kept the complex sum. So this one actually I'll just give simple. I copy pasted, and this one I forgot to change the word, I guess. So now, yeah, now I have got the correct output, right? So I copied the same line 27 here and pasted this one to the line number 28. So I forgot to change the string one, this one within the strings. I give complex itself instead of simple. So now this works, right? So this works absolutely correct. So this is it about the this one, what do we call KISS principle, right? So now what we are getting 100 and 100 as output. Both the methods return 100, right? So since the sum of this one, line number 25, 10, 20, 30, 40, the sum of 10, 20, 30, 40 is 100. But the first approach here, this one, the first function, some complex, but the first approach is longer and harder to read, while the second one is very simple and clear, right? Following the KISS principle, right? So we are done with the KISS principle. Let me summarize whatever we have learned so far. Just listen to this. Just keep this in mind. Some important points I'll mention. Just try to keep this in mind, right? So the KISS principle is equivalent to the this one. Keep it simple, stupid, right? So we have to avoid overcomplicating our code when a simple solution works. And one more thing here, in Python, we prefer built-in functions, straightforward logic, and readability always, right? So just keep this in mind. And simple code is always equivalent to the fewer bugs plus easier maintenance, right? So we know this, right? So just keep this in mind. So this is about the KISS principle, right? So next we'll be discussing the solid principles one by one. SOLID, right? For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.